When I look back at my career, as I was mentioning, there's some real standout moments, and one of the things that I've recognized most of all was the fact that there's some things that never change, and one of the things that has never changed for me was my excitement for the instrument. That is really your best friend because when you have that interest, that passion, say, or that desire to play the instrument, and it doesn't have to be a wild passion, it could just be an interest in playing it, that's really your best friend, you know? And when I was young and I discovered the guitar, I was enamored, really. I knew that it was an infinite instrument in that you're never going to tap it out. You're never going to reach the end of its ability to be unique or creative. You may believe in your head that you've taken things to a certain point, but there's always room to grow because the universe is infinite, and so is everything in it. And this was the most exciting thing to me when I was young, was the realization that I can have an idea and then I can work on it, and then all of a sudden it could be there and it could happen. This is the payoff, and this is really what you're doing. The creation of anything, to manifest anything, it's basically a three-step procedure. And this applies to the guitar, and this will apply to anything you do in your career, really. Whether you're writing a song, whether you want to learn a particular riff, whether you're looking for the right guys to be in your band, whether you want to be able to, whatever your goals are, and we'll talk about goals too, but there's a three-step technique that I would encourage you to consider and to ponder and to experiment with. And this three-step technique for achieving virtually the manifestation of anything is one, you have to want something. You have to know what you want. You have to have a desire. And that can be anything. And it really can be anything. As far as what we're discussing here on the guitar, you could have a simple desire to want to be able to play the instrument a particular way. You maybe want to be in a band that plays contemporary jazz or blues. Maybe your desire is to be a very effective blues player. Maybe your desire is to just be able to play some chord changes on a beach. That's fine. It's all fine. You know, maybe you like to sound like classical music. You like classical. Whatever your desire is, it's really important to be able to be sincere with it. And what that means is basically a lot of times what we think we want is really just an egoic desire, meaning that we want to be great so people recognize us, so we get respect, so that we are successful in the eyes of the world. And there's nothing wrong with any of that, but anybody I've ever known that has that, that's a byproduct of their passion for the work that they do. It's actually a consequence. That's what I noticed in my career. You know, the worldly success was really just it just happens as a consequence of focusing on your passion. So when I say knowing what you want, what I really mean is, can you sit and think with a clear mind, not based on the perception of anybody else, what they think you should be doing, what the trends are, what goes into making a well-rounded musician, or any of these things. Because really, all of that stuff, at times it can be helpful, but the most important thing is that you have a pull. And can you identify that? What is it? So if I had a magic wand and I said, you can play or be or have anything you want on this instrument, regardless of what anybody thinks, what would that be? And you have the freedom and the ability to think of what that is. And the way you know you're moving towards it is when you start feeling the feeling of enthusiasm in yourself. You know what that feels like. That's your gold. That's the honey, so to speak, you know. And when you're able to start honing in, and this is the first step, honing in on what it is that you like and you want to achieve, that sense of enthusiasm will grow. So your first step is that. And it could be as simple as, I want to be able to play a particular riff or a particular song. Now, the second step is very powerful in the manifestation of anything you desire, and this actually is something that you can work on that's more important than anything else you can do on the instrument. And it doesn't have anything to do with the instrument physically, but it's actually at the core of anything you're ever going to accomplish on the instrument. And what that is your ability to visualize. So what does that mean? You can only achieve what you believe you can achieve. And your ability to visualize yourself playing something is extraordinarily powerful. Matter of fact, it's even in quantum physics, it's and I'm not an expert at this, it's part of the process of manifestation. First there's a thought, and then there's the visualization of the thought. So I always, whenever I'm talking to musicians who have a particular thing they'd like to achieve, what I tell them to do is practice visualizing yourself doing it. Actually visualizing in your mind's eye, creating a very clear picture of doing it and hearing it. Whether it's now this, we're talking about actually playing, but this applies to anything. So the more you're able to see yourself playing something much more proficiently than you can now or before you visualize it, that's going to be your guide to getting to where you want to go with whatever it is you want to achieve. So I didn't realize this, but this is what I was doing when I was 10 years old, 10, 11, 12 years old. I would put on the headphones, steal my sister's Led Zeppelin records and Alice Cooper and all the great 70s rock music, and I would just lay in bed and I'd listen, and I would imagine this guy playing the guitar, me, and effortlessly, beautifully, elegantly, absolutely profoundly, and moving around in a totally organic, beautiful, wizardly way. Hey, I was 10 years old. You're allowed to imagine these things. And just uplifting everybody that was in the audience, just making them feel great and delivering something that was just amazing and cool and unique. And you become what you think about. Whatever's on your mind, that's the predominant vibration that's going to manifest in your life. I'm still working on that, because you can continue to refine the picture in your head of what it is you want to be. And can you see yourself doing it? Can you see yourself doing it better than you could possibly even come close to doing it now? Can you see yourself doing it effortlessly, elegantly, and can you hear it? Can you hear it sounding amazing? That's the second step. And it's a practice. It's a powerful practice. Because without the visualization of something, you're meandering, really, or you're just like waiting for something to happen. And sometimes the visualization comes very quickly. But the third step in this process is perhaps the most difficult. And it's the stage where you have to allow things to happen. Allow your visualization to manifest. Oh, what does that mean? You need to align yourself with your vision. And when I say align yourself, what I'm referring to is this has everything to do with your attitude, your perspective, the quality of your perspective. That's the final step in the manifestation of anything. Aligning yourself with your vision means finding that enthusiasm and cultivating it in almost anything you see, anything you're doing on the instrument, finding the victory and rejoicing in the victory of any little achievement. If you can't go like this, if you want to go, I'm just making this up, but you can only go. Okay. You visualize yourself saying it. Now, you slowly start to get into the practice of it, which we'll review more later, other riffs, not just this one. But when you can even start connecting those notes, treat every little accomplishment like a victory. That's how you align with your vision. When you get that enthusiastic ball rolling, nothing in the universe can stop it. As a matter of fact, the universe is going to work with you in making it grow and making it manifest. This 1, 2, 3 step technique we're doing all the time anyway. This is not like something new. Anything that you see in this room or in your house or in the world, the physical world, started out with step 1, somebody thought of it. Step 2, somebody visualized it. And then step 3, somebody aligned themselves with bringing it into the world with some kind of vision of enthusiasm. So this is a very powerful technique. One thing I would mention is also whatever the quality or the vibration of your attitude is towards your accomplishment, that's what's going to manifest. So if you're feeling really good about it, and you're enjoying the process, and you're also just you're supporting yourself, and you're enjoying yourself, that's a good sign. But if you're criticizing yourself, you're telling yourself, I suck, everybody else is better, or if there's fear of not being good enough, which is usually a predominant state of mind in many young guitar players and people in general. So if you have a fear of not fitting in or whatever it might be, or then that's what's going to manifest also. So whatever you really, really want, you'll get. And whatever you really, really don't want, you'll get. Whatever you're thinking about, whatever is in your mind about your playing or about anything, is what will manifest into your experience. That's not my theory or philosophy. It's just the law of the universe. And you can prove it to yourself. You can see it at work in your life all day long. And that's the 1, 2, 3 step. And I encourage you to really focus on it. Number 1, get that idea going that you want, and anything is good. Any desire you have is you're worthy of it, and also it's doable and possible. Number 2, visualize it. Actually see yourself doing it. Fine-tune that vision. Chisel it out. Enjoy the process of chiseling it out. No rules, by the way. No rules. Number 3, allow it by aligning with it, by looking for things in your experience that will add to it, looking for things that will help make it manifest. They're all there, different people, the right situation, something you might read, something you see in a store, something somebody says, an inspiration that arises in you. This is the alignment process that will then be part of the manifestation. And there it is.